Okay, so we are going to start with this before we go into the rest of the topics. We're going to start with line charts. It's very important for us to know because when trading advanced Malaysian SNR or Malaysian SNR, we always make use of the line chart a lot. So for you to add the line chart to our trading view, see this point, you click on this drop box. There are different kinds of charts here. You can see all of them, different kinds of charts. So just add this to your favorite candles and line chart. And when you click on the line chart, this is how the line chart is going to look like. This is the line chart here. This is how the line chart is going to look like. So we'll be working with line chart a lot since we are trading Malaysian SNR. So now we've seen line chart, how it looks like. It's very easy to bring in the line chart into your chart. The next thing we're going to go to is the apex. What are apex? Apex is every swing point in your chart, every swing high and every external. Now, take note, we have so many swing points. We have swing points that are internal. Every external swing high and swing low are your apex. And if you have a chart like this, if you have a chart like this, if you have a chart like this, these are higher highs and higher lows. This area, this resistance here is your apex. These are external swing points. So these are your apex. This is what we call apex. And this low are your external lows. So these are your apex also. Take note, everything you're learning throughout this first week and the second week is very, very important. If you don't understand or you can't grab what you're learning this first week and the next second week, that means you won't be able to trade the market when we start going into trading in the third week. So this week, this is the first week of our learning. The second week, what you're learning is very, very important. That's the foundation. That's why I'm taking time to explain this foundation, because when you have the foundation, you can trade confidently. So these are the external swing points, which are called the apex. These are the external swing points. And something like this, if the market is trending down, we have something like this. Then this area, these are our swing point. This is a resistance, apex. This is an apex here. This is also an apex. This is an apex because these are external swing points. So all external swing points are apex. You will see the reason why this apex is very important, because it will help you a lot to miss any trade. It will help you to avoid trades that would have hit your SL. So now we've known what are apex, every external swing point. We need to identify our apex supports and our apex resistance. Very easy. These are apex. I'm going to mark that again. And this is going to be, we're going to do all this on our line chart. We're going to line chart later. Let's do this with this drawing. So if I want to mark my apex supports, if I have something like this, if I have something like this, we have something like this. These are my supports. This area, these are my swing support. These are my supports here. External swing support. These are apex supports. This is another apex support, and this is another apex support. Now, if you look here, you see that we have an internal swing point also. These are not apex. These are not apex supports. These supports here are not apex support. The only apex support we had was this support here, this support here, this one, this one, this one, this one. Just like having something like this, we want to target the supports. We have something like this. So if we want to trade the supports, and we remember we only take our trade from apex point, apex support, apex resistance. These are our apex. This is the apex point here. This is a swing support. This is an apex support. This is also an apex support. Now, if you're finding it difficult to mark your apex support, just look at the support that led to a breakout. This is a breakout here. This support led to this breakout. So this is an apex support. Now, after the breakout, you see this is a pullback. This is a pullback here. Now, after this pullback, the market went up, took out this high here. So this is the last point the market got to. This is an apex support. You see this other support here. You see this other support here. If we are trading it based on Malaysian SNR and I want to pick my support, I'm not using this support. I won't use this. This is going to fail. This is going to fail. These are the support I'm going to use. The same thing here. If I mark here, this is my apex support. The same thing, if I have something like this, then the market goes. If I want to look at this, this is my apex support. This last point the market got to before going back up. This is my apex support. These are supports. This support is going to fail. This support is going to fail. This is my apex support here. This is my apex support. So if the market is coming back down, this is the apex support. So apex is always the swing high or swing low. Now for the apex, this is the apex support. For the apex resistance, for the apex resistance, for the resistance, you want to take trade from resistance. If you have something like this, now we want to look at this. This is an apex high. This is another apex high. This is another apex high. Now these are valid resistance. I won't call this one a resistance. If the market comes to this point, there is going to fail because this is an apex resistance. You're going to know later when we use resistance that are internal. But for now, this other one here is going to fail. So for the apex, the external swing points are where we get our apex resistance and our apex support. And if you're finding it difficult to get it, just look at the resistance that led to a breakout. This is a breakout here caused by this resistance, meaning this resistance is an apex. We have another resistance. We have another one here that led to this place. And we also have this one. So these external swing points are our apex. Now, if you look at these topics here, we have another topic, which is IAB resistance, which is called internal apex break resistance, because most times we have internal swing points that are valid. We have the IAB resistance and the IAB support, which means internal apex break resistance and the internal apex break support. Let's see how we can identify this on the chart. Remember, here we are dealing with line charts. Now, if I want to mark my supports, I have something like this. Then I have something like this again. Now, if I want to take a trade from a support area, there are different valid support points here, which I'm going to use. This is an apex here, which is going to hold price as a support. This is an apex is going to hold price as a support. It will be strong. We have another apex here, which is also going to hold price. This is external apex, which is going to hold price. Now we are talking about IAB, which is internal apex break support. If I check in this area, this is an external here. This is an external low. These are internal low, and also these are internal low. Now, when we say internal apex break support that they are valid, that means that an internal support that led to a breakout, either internal breakout or external breakout, is a valid point. It's not as strong as the external, but it's always strong enough to hold price. So if I'm expecting price to come down, I believe that here is going to hold the price because this area is an internal apex break support. Now, if I check here also, there was a break here. There was a break here. We have another support. Where is the support? We have this support here, which is external. This is an apex support here, which will also hold price. And we also have another internal support here. This internal support is valid because this is IAE. This is the internal apex break support. Why is it internal break support? Because this support led to a breakout both on internal and external. So this support is going to hold price. If I was taking here as my area where I want to enter the trade, I want to take this place as the area where I want to enter my trade. That means this place I'm going to take here as a strong support. Why? Is the internal supports are not always strong, but I'll still take here because this place is an IAB support. Now, coming to the next support here, this is a support here. This is the external. This is an external support here. Apex support is external swing. So this place will be strong to hold price. If I don't take this place, where do I think will hold price again? I'm not going to consider this place. This is an internal support, which is not going to hold price. If you put your entry here, you're going to lose. But if you put your entry here, here is going to hold price because this is what an internal apex break support. This support here led to a breakout here, led to another breakout here. It's not composed, it must lead to two breakouts as long as it breaks out from an internal. It leads to a breakout internally. That means that support is strong. One of the trades we took this week was from also IAB resistance. So this is it for this, you see. Now, the way I'm drawing this thing now, it will be very easy. When you go into this line chart, you see that it's also easy for you to mark it out. We're going to go into the line chart later. Let's finish with the internal for resistance. So for resistance, if we have something like this, then we have something like looking for internal. If I have something like this on internal for resistance, you see that in this resistance, we have different external apex, but we're not focusing on external apex now. We want to focus on internal. This is an external apex led to a breakout here. If I check this one, we have a breakout here. This is an internal resistance, which is not valid, is going to fail. We have an external at this very order flow here, this point, this market structure here. The external was not good enough to take a trade. And we have another breakout here. We have an internal here. This internal is going to fail if we try to use this internal. This other internal here is going to fail, but this internal is going to hold price because this resistance here led to a breakout internally. It's going to hold, while this one here is the external, which is still going to hold. If you check here also, we have an internal. This internal is going to fail because it did not lead to anything. This other one here is going to be strong enough to hold price because it led is an IAB resistance. This is IAB resistance. This is IAB resistance. Why this one is an apex resistance. You see that? So this is how easy it is. So let's go to the chart and I'll show you how we get that. Let me clear this out. These are all the foundation. These are advanced foundation you're getting now. We are done. The first lesson was the beginner lesson, but from the second lessons, we are all in the advanced. We started the advanced already. That's why I said the beginner class is very easy. You can see that on YouTube. But the advanced, you can see them. Now, going to the real charts, starting with using our line chart. If I look at this, I want to look at this. I want to get my drawing. You can see that this place, this is my external support here. This is my external resistance. These are apex here. Here is an apex. If I want to look at this place again, this is also an apex here. This place is an apex. Here is an apex. But if I want to look at this one, this is an apex. This is an apex. This high here is not an apex, but the low here is an apex because it led to a breakout. No matter how small the breakout is, no matter how small it is, it's valid when you're trading Malaysian SNR. It doesn't matter. It's valid. Now, looking at this, we have a swing high here. This is an external. This is an external apex resistance here. We also have an apex resistance here also. We also have apex support here. We have an apex support here. This is not an apex resistance. Here is going to fail. This is not an apex resistance because it's internal. Okay, to break out from here, this is going to hold. That's going to hold. I didn't look at it well. That's going to hold. This is an apex resistance also because it broke out from this place. This was a valid high. Now, let's look at internally. I want to look at internal. So we see, now we know the external already. Now, looking at this, we have this place that broke out here. I'm going to expand the charts. Let me make this. If you see this, this is apex resistance. This is apex support. This is not valid. This is not an IAB resistance, but this is IAB support because this support led to a breakout internally and also externally. So here is going to hold price if price gets to here. This is an IAB support. This one here is apex support, apex support, apex resistance, apex resistance, apex resistance, apex support. This is also apex resistance, apex support. This resistance here is not apex, is not going to hold price, but the support here is going to hold price because that is IAB support. We have another one here. This is not an, this is apex support also because it led to a breakout. Now, that is why we only look for this on a higher time frame. When you're looking at this on a weekly, monthly, and daily time frame, you see that there are no noise. There are no noise, not too much structure. You just see the line chart to be very clean. That's why we focus on higher time frame. If you look at this, there was a break here. So that is, we have an apex resistance. We have apex resistance. We have this one here is an apex resistance because, no, not an apex, this is IAB resistance because it led to this breakout here. This is IAB resistance. Why this one is an apex resistance, external apex support. Then look at this internal structure here. This resistance here is not valid. This one is not valid. It's an internal, but not valid because it not lead to any breakout. But this other one here is valid because it led to a breakout. This support here is internal, also valid because it led to a breakout. This support here is internal, but not valid because it not lead to any breakout. You see how easy it is for us to identify this. So if the market was coming and this, we had an area, maybe we had this zone to pick trades, we know that this zone is going to hold. You're going to see how we combine all this. For now, we're just identifying them on the chart. We have another line chart here, which is this one. And on this one, we have this apex resistance, IAB resistance, not valid support. This is where it went to apex support because this is a retracement. This whole area like this is a pullback before the breakout here. So this one led to the breakout. This one not valid. This resistance not valid, but the support here valid, IAB support because it led to internal breakout and also external breakout. So if you're expecting to use it as our entry, if the price gets here, there's every possibility that's going to hold price just like it happened here. You see that? So you're going to see how powerful these things are. It doesn't matter how small these supports, IAB support or IAB resistance are, they always work 90% of the time. It's not going to work always, because if it worked always, everybody would have been a billionaire by now in the forex market. So you won't expect it to work always. So finally, before we go into the next topic, we have it was a break here. Now we have internal IAB resistance valid, it broke out here. This was the last point. This is apex support. This is an internal support, but not valid, it's not going to hold price. This one here, valid. This is an IAB support. It led to internal break and also external break. That is it. You see how easy it is. When you go back and you practice these things, you're going to get them more better. That's why this one is in the weekend. Since you're learning this weekend, you have a lot of time to practice it. So the next thing we're going to go to is ABQM. ABQM means Apex Break QM. There are different kinds of QM. That's why most times people lose when they are trading all QM the same way. ABQM, what's the meaning of ABQM? Mean Apex Break QM. How can we identify Apex Break QM? Now, these are QM. ABQM are QM that are created after an apex resistance or apex support is formed. That means you have something like this. This is a resistance. This is a resistance here. A resistance is formed and the market breaks. Now, this area here is apex QM. This area will be an apex QM. This is not an apex QM. This is not an apex QM. Despite if the market drops more lower, these are all QM. But this is the only apex QM. Why is this ABQM? Apex break QM, ABQM, apex break QM. Those names are always somehow. Now, it's because this QM was formed immediately or after the market formed a resistance. You see? So after this market formed this resistance here, this one did not lead to a breakout, did not lead to this break to make this one to form a QM. So these are just normal QM, but they are not ABQM. Example, now we go to this chart to see how ABQM looks like. We can call this one ABQM because you see this resistance was created here, this one was created here, and after a resistance was formed, what happened? After a resistance was formed, this was the real one here. As you can see, let's go to the line chart again. Look at this place. We have this resistance here, and this one break, market broke. After the resistance was formed, the next thing, even the candle that formed the resistance, you see, the candle that formed the resistance was even the candle that broke this other SBR that made it become QM. You see how the market came in and respected it. So this is what we call ABQM. A QM that is formed immediately a resistance is formed, or a QM that is formed from the candle that creates the last resistance before the break. So this was it here. Here the resistance was created here, and the candle that created resistance was the one that broke this RBS that made it turn to QM. The market came in, respected it. So ABQM. Now, all these ones I'll only be listing out the key levels that are important. I won't be listing out key levels that are invalid. Only the important ones, only the strong key levels, and the one we'll be using when trading. That's the only one I'm listing out. Now we have the QM here, ABQM. ABQM. That's how we identify it. Now we have also the FTQM. What are the FTQM? FT mean first time QM. First time QM are very powerful, very, very powerful. Now, if we have something like this, these are the market creating series of higher highs and higher lows. Now, the market broke. See how the market broke down to this point. Now, if you watch, this area becomes QM. QM. So all these are called first time QM because this is the first time this key level is becoming a QM. This is the first time this key level becomes a QM. This is the first time this key level becomes QM, and also the first time this key level becomes a QM. So they are all called first time QM. The same thing if you have something like this. And this market breaks. So immediately the market breaks, we have different QM. Which are the QM? This one is going to be, this one here is our AB QM. That is apex break QM. These are the apex break QM and also FTQM. Why these ones are only FTQM? FTQM. Why are they called FTQM? Because this is the first time this area is becoming a QM. This is the first time the area is becoming a QM. This is the first time this area is becoming a QM. So they are called FTQM. This one is an FTQM and also ABQM, which is apex break QM. Now, if I want to show you this, let's see on the chart. We have, let's look for different QM. We are going to see them. This one here was a very good ABQM. You see this one here. What happened? Resistance formed, market broke. Even the candle that formed the resistance was the one that broke the high, making it to become a ABQM. The market came in, respected it, and dropped. ABQM, FTQM. Now, after that, you saw the market came down, broke this one again also. Breaking this one, this is not ABQM, rather, this is FTQM. This is the first time it's becoming a QM. And when it corresponds with our storyline, it works like magic. So now we have another FTQM here also. This is the first time it's becoming a QM. The market came, rejected it, and dropped all the way down here. This is like 1:20 inside here. So you see FTQM works like magic. That's why we only look for these on higher time frames, not on lower time frame. Then we have, let's check for other QM. Now, this is how easy that's we might not be seeing all these FTQM in the chart like that, but that's how easy it is to mark all those QM. Another FTQM. Okay, this one I'm not going to call this one FTQM. Okay, this FTQM first time is becoming a QM. This is the first time this one is becoming a QM. This one here, FTQM. Let's look for another QM. This is also FTQM and ABQM. You see this one, the market broke, and ABQM, very strong QM. The candle that formed the resistance was one that broke it, making it to become ABQM. FTQM also, the market came, respected it, and dropped. You see that? So now I want to look for it on a downtrend. We've been seeing them on uptrend. Let's look for it on downtrend. Now, if you look at this one here, support broke. Here it became, this was FTQM also. FTQM and ABQM. You see here, the market broke it here, came back, broke again. It became a QM. See that after the break, the market respected it. This FTQM and also ABQM. This is the first time becoming a QM. Break it here, came back down. Then later, the market came back, broke through it again. You see, breaking through it again, I'm breaking it down again. It became STQM. STQM means second time QM. Now, we only use two type of QM. We only use the FT and the STQM. That the first time it's becoming a QM is very strong. Second time it becomes a QM, it's not as strong as the first time, but it's still strong enough to push the price down, okay, or push the price up. We use it, that's why we say FTQM and STQM. Those two are very, very okay to use. And this is an example of STQM. STQM is just like FTQM, just that it becomes QM again the second time, and the market will respect it when it matches or it corresponds with our storyline. So that is it here, STQM. So using a diagram, I'll say this is how we get STQM. I'll say if this is the case, this is it. The market breaks and all these are now FTQM. What the market does, it goes back up, come back, break again. They now become STQM. That is how we get STQM. When it becomes QM the first time and become QM again the second time, these are STQM. They are also good to trade. Now will be the next one we are going to look into is the IABQM, internal apex break. Now we have this QM that are like this. I think I should leave this one for the next session, then just focus on these two and we look for a way to identify them. I'll just leave this one for the next session. After this, we'll record on that session again. So I'll just leave these two for that. Then let's just record. Let's finish these two. I don't want to rush it. No need of rushing you guys. You guys really need to understand it. Now we've seen this a lot we've seen this FTQM a lot on uptrend. Like this is the break. This is another break. This is another break here. Let me make this one to be very clear. You see this resistance. This was a resistance. After resistance, the market went up, formed under resistance, and broke. So after breaking, you see the candle that formed the resistance was one that broke this place and made it become AQM. You see that? Okay, this was FTQM, but not ABQM. This was the one that was ABQM and also STQM. ABQM and FTQM. So if I take it here, see this was the resistance, the market break. The candle that formed resistance was the one that broke it again. After breaking it, also broke this other one, making sense to be FTQM. This one was FTQM and also ABQM. The market respected the FTQM and dropped down. So we continue to look for this other one. Let's look for this for uptrend. We've seen a lot on this downtrend. Now we have this one also. This one, this is FTQM. We have this QM here. Broke again. Okay, this one is not part of, this is just a normal QM, not part of our kind of QM, which one we are looking for. This was the market broke it. The only time it was a QM, this was a QM here. After this break here, this one became a QM. The market respected it and pushed it down. Pushed it down. Let's see if we're going to see STQM. STQM. I think this one was STQM. This one. This was it. The first time the market broke, it came back, broke it, it became a QM. Then later went up, came back, broke it again. It became the STQM. The market came, used it, and dropped. This was STQM here. Okay, let me go to 4 hour. Let's see more. Okay, let me just use this session to cover this IBQM. This IBQM is, when I say IBQM, same thing with IB resistance, IAB resistance. If you have a QM like this, if you have this kind of structure, these are the structure, then we have this, and this, the market breaks. Now look at this. When we see something like this, look at this carefully. If the market comes back down and break below here like this, we now have this place as QM. Now this is what a BQM. Then what about this one? This one is going to be internal apex break QM because this is a QM and a valid QM. Why is it a valid QM? Because it's coming from an IAB resistance. That's how the name became, that's how it got the name IABQM because it's coming from an IAB resistance. So if the market is coming back up, some people might be waiting for the market to get to here, but the market will use this IABQM and drop. That is it about IABQM. IABQM are gotten from IAB resistance. The same thing with downtrend. We have this one like this. This one like this. And we have this. So breaking here, now we have a QM here. That's a QM. And what kind of QM is that? This is ABQM and FTQM. If the market is dropping, we should also know that we have IABQM here because this is internal apex break QM. This QM here, this support led to a breakout here the first time. So if the market is coming down, sometime you might be waiting for it to get here, but it will use the IABQM, then goes back there. So if I want to go to remove drawing and go to line chart will see a lot of this. If I go back to line chart on daily, we'll see a lot of them. IABQM. So after now that I'll be coming back again for us to ask questions. We've always spent 35 minutes, so we've stayed more than 35 minutes. So I'll be coming back again. Then this time around is going to be for questions mainly. Then you ask a question. I know this is a lot to take in. This is a lot to take in. So you're going to ask your questions and I'm going to answer you. Now your assignment, okay, when I come back the next time, the next session we're starting after this, just wait 3 minutes, we'll come back again. Then you ask all your questions. Then I explain more better. And you'll be using line chart to see this more. Sorry, I was using the other candle, but use line chart and we're going to see more of this. Stay tuned for the next one.